You are getting awake. Very awake. You are waking up. Weird thing here, somebody sent me this vid about Raj Patel, the Maitreya and the Prince Who Shall Come. And this guy Raj is quite a clever talker. I don't know much about him, but it seems to be... I can't make any comment about him, I know nothing about him. But he says this, call me Brian. Call me Brian. The life of Brian is about Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. They have Hebrew math.
Please, listen. I've got one or two things to say.
This is about Brian.
You got it all wrong. You don't need to follow me. You don't need to follow anybody.
By 1944, when mind control started, that's when it did start. Also on, let me put this phone down for a second. Let's go. Brian. I wasn't planning on making a video. So. Okay. Look at, this is not Brian's math. This is independent math.
You people really need to start getting something.
Let's just
is about reincarnation.
mute this for a second. Mathematically, Daniel's prophecy looks like this: 69 weeks of years times 360 days. This equals 173,880 days. Then from the starting date, March 14th BC, 445 to March 14th, 32 AD is 476 years times 365 days. This is Hebrew math. This is what they knew in advance who Brian Habsburg, the most royal man on life in the world, would be. This equals 173,740 days. To this figure, 116 leap year days are added, making 173,856 days from March 14, 32 AD to April 6, the day Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the colt, and the day that Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall was conceived in his mother's womb, April 6. Equals 24 days according to Jewish calculation. Now this is calculations by the Hebrew Jewish Zionists. They knew exactly who Brian was going to be. Add this together and it comes out as Daniel prophesied 173,880 days. That's April 6th. Brian was conceived in his mother's stomach on April 6th to be born on January 11th, 1944. It's the day Jesus was rejected, blah, blah, blah. The 69 weeks is So April 6th is 1943, is Nisan 1, 5703. April 6, 1943, April 6, 1911 years. 1911 years is divisible by 7 and 49, 39, 1911 Jubilee cycles, 7 times 2, 1911 sabbaticals. Maybe there is something to this fraud, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. You damn straight. We come to April 6, 1943. That's their Hebrew math. That's the day Brian was conceived. That's why it's the life of Brian that even Raj Patel or whatever is so obsessed about. There's Brian. It just gets that fucking simple, my friends. You're too busy, too enchanted with the corrupt Hollywood version. There it is, the reincarnation of Jesus, right before your eyes. There's a bunch of real cowards that flock together. This ST stars for cream. I'm the one that put the black hole information online about the pupils being black holes and the planets and some of the stuff behind the Jesus pictures, black hole. And of course this guy is all about, what do you think he's about? I've already proven that's a symbol for the devil. This guy's like,
I hope you enjoyed the last video.
I talked about the black holes and this guy's like, I'm sick of this Brian stuff, go suck a dick, you're blocked. But, you know what, they're all talking about Brian anyway. This guy's also tired of Brian and his God thing. Earth does not want a male God from the past revived. It's all about the female. Well, did you know that the Queen of England runs the whole planet? That's a female. She's even had kids. So your main female is a demon worshipper, and that's the one running the country and the planet. That's motherly energy, isn't it? Good luck, fools. Enjoy your stalking Brian business. I'm gonna make this video and another video, just a snippet. This is all I'll be able to watch. I'll put the link below. These are American soldiers. Look what they're doing. These people serve Satan. I'm not even going to press play. Because I think I'm going to read the bloodlines of the Illuminati, because the elite are obsessed with genetics. And there's a reason for that. Because they're also obsessed with Jesus. And they're also obsessed with reincarnation. They also put everything in plain sight. They hide everything in plain sight. Like a movie called The Life of Brian, that's pretty in plain sight. Now, if you were in the elite and you were obsessed with genetics and birth times and stars, and you were also obsessed with Jesus, well, if you have any bit of your brains left and you're not too docile from fluoride and brain dead from GMO, I think you can put it together, the pieces together, and notice that in order to be obsessed with genetics and obsessed with bloodlines, they're interested in the most royal man on earth, the Habsburg, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. And that's why they spent all that time calculating the math of the day that he would return, and they came up with the date April 6, 1943. Just so happens to be the day Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall was conceived. The Life of Brian, with the genetically obsessed elite, know exactly who he is. The reason they let me in, all over TV, all over the front page news, etc., is because my last name being Laird, there is no such thing as a laird. It's a Scottish word, it means lord. Lord of the lands. Now, all the lords were elite, and they were all inbreds, probably all blood drinkers. So they did the genetics on me, and they knew that my ancestors were in the elite. Now, I wanted to be famous for my own reasons, because I wanted to have my animal sanctuary. I didn't actually want to be famous per se. It was just in my blood. I just wanted to be. I always wanted to be a famous singer, but I always wanted to have it from, luckily for me, for ultimate good reasons. But looking at my past life, since they knew about my past life and they knew about my genetics, they knew that I was predispositioned to possibly picking fame and stuff like that over mankind. So they studied my genetics too. That's why they let me in. But unfortunately for them, I did a complete 180. I always knew about reincarnation. I always knew about God. I knew religion sucked. I knew it was fake. But Brian is the only thing that makes sense on this planet. And if you can't see it, you're either possessed or you just haven't looked properly. You're not looking at your enemy and what they're obsessed with. Reincarnation, birth times, stars, the pyramid, because the pyramid reveals Brian, and they're obsessed with Brian. Every other fake, per se, Jesus is getting all kinds of press. All kinds. A.J. Miller, people are moving closer to him and everything. Brian can't get arrested. He can't get invited to the opening of an envelope. He can't get on a list of fake Jesuses. They make sure they take his name off. We've put it on lots of times, they take it off. We can't even make fun of Brian publicly, you know? So, bloodlines of the Illuminati, genetics, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. Rue at Yahweh Now 3168 did a nice job of putting Brian into Wikipedia in the people that claim to be Jesus. Don't start. And I see, you know, it stays in red. They let this stay up, growing in grace. Somebody altered that, that's why it's red. It's up, no problem. Somebody altered that. And Brian's name is nowhere to be found. So, yeah, Brian's not going to be able to get on the list of people who claim to be Jesus, even though his name, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, is on thousands, millions of articles on YouTube and Google. He ain't going to get on this list. Son, do not fear your enemies. At worst, they may kill you. Do not fear your friends. At worst, they may betray you. Fear those who do not care. They neither kill nor betray. But murder and betrayal exist because of their silent consent. If you don't like what you're seeing on my channel,